And now I want here a round transition. So therefore, let's select this edge in edge mode and select the second edge. Press Shift D and OK. And if you press plane from camera and click on temporary plane on this button here, which appears here as soon as we click plane from camera, you see that something happens here. I go back. I have clicked plane from camera, and then as soon as I click on this temporary plane, look what happens here. And here in the outliner, boom, added planes. And here in the outliner is a new group called planes, and here is our custom plane which we have created by clicking to this button, temporary plane. And here we can see our custom plane also. So these are the same objects, this one and this one. And that's what I wanted. Now, if I change the view and double click on this custom plane, boom, we are back at this view. Now this stuff is a little bit tricky, but nevertheless, if you follow along, there won't be any problems. Hide it for a minute, we don't need it. What we need instead is some cuts. So therefore, let's create some lines with Shift A. Here, the first line, okay. The second line here. And here also I will create two lines here. And now I will run the cut curve command. So select this one, run it with your shortcut or look for it in the F menu, then select the cutter, this one, shift select this one, enter. Now we have this one separated, and we will do the same with this corner. So select again this curve, cut curve command, select this line, shift select the second one, press OK, and now we have separated this one also. Delete the redundant and select this one, press S. And construction plane here, we can see the y-axis, which is green, the x-axis, which is red, and the z is like a dot. And we want to scale along this, the axis, which looks like a dot. So S, Z, 0. And now we have flattened this guy, and we will do the same with this one. Double click on the custom plane, select this guy, press S. The construction plane is already selected, so we just need to press Z and 0 and press OK. And now what I will do is create tangent circles, which lives here under the center circle. So select the tangent circle, click somewhere along this edge, the second click, and now we can drag out a tangent circle, and we will use this one for creating a rounded corner. That's what this whole operation was for. So if you press T for trim, we can trim the redundant stuff. And we will do the same with this one. Again, create this tangent circle by clicking on the first edge, then on the second edge. Don't press Shift or anything. You just need the first click, then the second click, and drag out a tangent circle, so something like this. Then T for trim. Okay. And now if we press Alt H, you can see that we can use these rounded curves as imprint curves, and we can delete then the redundant stuff, and we have a cool rounded shape here instead of these sharp corners. And you might ask, why don't you use the fillet right away? Well, that's not possible. So if we select this edge, then shift select this one and run the fillet, gives us an error. And with our method, it's much more flexible and versatile, so you can use this in any situation. It's more complicated, but you are the one who is in charge, not the software. So let's select the sheet, then press C for cut. You can use also imprint, but I will first try to cut it right away. Okay, it says failed to cut body, not a big deal. Okay, let's select this guy, Shift I for imprint curve. Select this one, press OK. And now we have imprinted it. And if we go to face mode, select this edge, Shift X, and you see that we have a rounded corner. And we will do the same with this one. Custom plane, double click, select this one, this sheet, then Shift I for running the imprint curve command, then select this one, and obviously you have to be in X-ray mode to have access to this part which is hidden by this sheet, obviously. So select this one, press OK, and now we can delete this face, Shift X, and while running the imprint command, this curve was also projected on this part of the sheet because we didn't hide the bidirectional option, but that's not a big deal. Select this one in edge mode and press Shift X, or run the delete redundant topology command, which will also delete this stuff. Okay, I like how this looks so far. Later on we will run the thicken command and thicken this sheet and obviously fillet it. Then we have a shell similar to this. But for now I will keep on cutting this part of the sheet and I will delete this custom plane, and I don't want these curves either. I can delete them so they don't get in our way, and I will clear the construction plane thing so we are back in our default mode. So let's see what we can do about this one. This bottom part. Here a lot of stuff is going on. Before doing anything else, I would like to extend this edge or this sheet. So in edge mode, select this edge. Extend sheet pops up right away. Just drag along this handle so we have more room. Because I want a similar cut as here, and we can use then this bottom part will be something like this. So this paneling here or something similar to it. So therefore, draw a random curve. Let me first isolate this one and let's draw a control point curve this time. And I don't want this object snapping, otherwise it will snap while we are drawing and it's quite annoying. So I turn off the object snapping so I can draw. And of course the X-ray mode is activated. So let's start drawing. Make something like this and press OK. Play around with the curve in control point mode. Make our fine tuning something like this maybe. And of course, if you don't want to use this view, again, activate plane from camera, then save this temporary plane. One was added here and here you can see it. You are safe and you can keep on editing your stuff. And if you change the view, you can always go back by double clicking here. Okay, that looks okay to me. Let's use this as a cutter. Again, select the sheet in solid mode, press C for cut, then select this one and press OK. And now we have divided this sheet. While I am in this mode, in this view, I will create a center circle, pressing Shift C. And I will use this one to cut this redundant stuff here for the bottom part. Maybe something like this. In solid mode, select this one, cut, C for cut. Select this one, the circle as the cutter, press OK, delete this one. And from front view, we have something like this. And I will create a straight line. Use this one again as a cutter for the bottom part, for the bottom sheet, of course in solid mode. So you can see it's very important to switch around between these different modes. So select the sheet, press C, then select the cutter, press OK, and we can delete this one. And here I will again round these corners. I don't need this one any longer. So let's go in edge mode, select these edges. Shift D for creating curves out of them. And again, I will create tangent circles and whatnot. All the stuff we have done for this part. And I guess I forgot to explain why I have flattened these guys with these SZ0. You may remember. That's for being able to create tangent circles. Let me show you this. So Shift D, I duplicate this one. If I try to create tangent circle right away without flattening this curve, I won't be successful. So if I select the tangent circle, of course I have to enable object snapping. So if I try to create a tangent circle here, doesn't work. The tangent circle creation requires flat curves. Otherwise, you won't be able to create any kind of tangent circle. That's why I have to flatten these guys. Select these three curves, S, Y, 0. Okay, now I have flattened it. Let's create the first tangent circle starting somewhere here. And you see, as soon as I make it too big, the tangent circle disappears because it needs to be on both edges. Okay, and here the second one can be much larger. Here something like this. So let's create a second tangent circle starting here. We can make it big as possible. Of course it freaks out, but that's okay. Let's just cut this part, otherwise it will get in our way with a line. So let's cut this one with the trim command, and if it doesn't work for some reason, just go with the cut curve command. So select this guy, run the cut curve, select the first line as a cutter, shift select the second one, press OK, and if it still doesn't cut, make sure that these two curves overlap and run the cut curve command again. I know this might be annoying, but it is what it is. Okay, now we were able to cut this one. We can delete the cutters and we can again run the tangent circle command. So click on the first edge, then on the second, make it as big as possible. So something like this. And now we can start trimming. But I won't trim this one. I need this for placing it here back to its original place. Press OK. First, delete this curve so it doesn't get in our way. Select these guys, G, G, X. And if it doesn't snap for whatever reason, just press G. Press V for changing the pivot, snap it to this endpoint, and then press G again, press Ctrl, and boom. Now it snaps perfectly. Let's look here at the bottom. That looks also okay. Press OK. Now we can delete this edge, and we can use these curves as cutters. So select this sheet, then press Shift-I for running the imprint curve. Select the first one, Shift select the second one, press OK. And now they are imprinted in face mode. We can delete the sharp corners, Shift-X, and here also Shift-X. And we don't need the imprint curves, we can delete them. So that's what we have so far. So let's have fun with thickening them. So select this one, F. Look for thicken, make it fairly big, something like this. But you know me, I prefer to give them round numbers. I want to make it thicker, maybe something like 6. That's too thick. Now here some weird stuff is going on. Maybe 5. 5 is still tricky, so I will remain at 4. What happens if we fillet these edges? So in edge mode, press Alt. For selecting the whole loop, BD, again our famous 0.01. And here for the inner edge, BD 0.01. And let's do the same for this sheet. In solid mode, thicken it. So using round numbers is good for maintaining the same thickness on different sheets.